set to convey things to him or take messages back. And the only time I really saw him in more depth is when I tried to pitch a story to him for a Hitchcock show, because he approved all the television, no television show would be permitted to be made unless he approved the story. So you'd have to write him a synopsis or convince him why it should be done or why it should not be done. So that's the only communication I really had with him.
Now, was it true that the episodes that he directed were just the ones that came up in the rotation, or did he actually choose which episodes he was going to direct? He had always claimed it was just, well, whichever one was coming.
No, there was Joan Harrison was the one who ran that television completely. She was, we were in a different bungalow, and she did all the things and had all the communications with Hitch and so on. But she chose the directors, and then there was Norman Lloyd, who was an associate producer, later became a producer, and we all moved up the ladder as things progressed.
Opportunity.
Yes.
Well, back to the Oblong Box. Now you've created this successful horror film as a producer and director. Were you prepared for the fact that that's what you were going to be offered from then on for a while?
I didn't quite understand.
You had made this successful horror film,
Yes.
and suddenly you're a horror filmmaker. And were you painted into a box as a horror filmmaker?
Yes, very, very definitely.
I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, so that were the only opportunities available to you at that time.
Yes, but I got signed to 3 pictures, and they had Vincent Price in them,
Right.
That was part of the thing. So we had more control over the story after that.
Well, after those 3 pictures, for the most part, for several years, you did almost exclusively television from that.
Yes.
With one major exception we'll get to in a minute. But what was that like? Did you find it to be sort of the same thing, or did you shoot differently in television? Because the schedules couldn't have been much different from these AIP schedules.
Well, the television shows also had to be done very, very quickly.